Hello friends, I am Dr. Syed Khadiruddin Chishti and I am teaching physics to the BSc third year students. My today's topic is Raman effect. Okay. Now to understand the Raman effect, we should know about the scattering of the light. That when the light rays are allowed to fall on some molecules of the atmosphere, it get scattered into the various colors. So scattering of light means the intensity, according to Rayleigh's law of scattering, intensity of the scattered light is inversely proportional to the fourth power of the wavelength. Means it is inversely proportional to the fourth power of the wavelength. Means when the wavelength of the light is less, then we can say that the intensity of the scattered light will be more. If we study in the Vibjar spectrum, that is visible spectrum, then here the intensity of the violet light is nearly 4000 angstrom, wavelength of the violet color, while for red color it is nearly 7000 angstrom. So here the wavelength will decrease from red to the violet color, but the violet and the indigo colors are not so clearly visible for our eyes. Therefore blue color will scattered more, we can say, because the wavelength of the blue color is less. So using this law we can say that in the daytime, when the sunlight is falling on the molecules of the atmosphere in the earth atmosphere, then the blue color will scattered more and we can see the blue of sky. It is the explanation of the blue of sky. So Raman was also studying the same phenomenon using the Rayleigh law, that is the scattering law, that when the light rays are incident on some molecules of some liquid, then they scattered, and there are some additional frequencies in addition to the original frequency on both the side of that original line or unmodified line. So Raman was studying the phenomenon of the scattering of light, and he found that when a beam of monochromatic light was allowed to pass through the organic liquid like benzene, then the scattered light contain other frequencies in addition to that of the incident light. Means if here is the frequency of the incident light, then on both this side of the incident light there are some additional frequencies, and those are known as the Stokes lines. Towards the right side and towards the left side it is called as the anti-Stokes lines. So Stokes lines are the low frequency lines towards the right of the unmodified line, and low frequency means they are having the higher wavelength, and where delta nu is positive. Stokes lines means the low frequency side or the higher wavelength where delta nu is positive, means nu dash is less than nu, and anti-Stokes lines means they are towards the lower side, towards the high frequency side, and having nu plus delta nu, it is a high frequency, or we can say that the short wavelength side. If delta nu is negative, then nu dash is less than nu. So this effect was first observed by the Raman, and these lines are called as the Raman lines. Stokes lines, anti-Stokes lines are on the opposite side of the unmodified light, that is known as the Rayleigh line. Okay, unmodified line, Rayleigh line. So this complete effect is called as the Raman effect. So what is the use of the Raman effect? What are the application of the Raman effect? We can study the molecular structure, means the mass of the atom, bond length means the length of the bond between the two atoms, then the strength of the bond between the atoms we can study with the help of the Raman effect. Then nature of the liquid, what type of liquid is there, nature can be studied. Then structure of the crystal means their binding, then structures, how the atoms are situated, that can be studied with the help of the Raman effect. Moreover, we can study the nuclear forces, nuclear physics in the using the Raman effect. Now, what are the applications of the Raman effect? Applications of the Raman effect are to the molecular structure, nature of the liquid, crystal physics, nuclear physics, and the chemical effect. Now, what is the molecular structure? How we can use the Raman effect? In molecular structure, we can find the mass of the atom, we can find the bond length between the atoms, and we can find the strength of the bond between the two atoms or the molecules. Now, the nature of the liquid. Here you can use the Raman effect. Liquid is nothing but an intermediate state between the solid and the gases. So there are thermal agitations of the agitation of the molecules in the liquid, and these agitations are neither random or nor well organized. So we can study these agitations with the help of the Raman effect to find the nature of the liquid. Now, in crystal physics, we can use the Raman effect to find the binding forces of the crystal. We can find the frequencies of the crystals using the Raman effect. Now, in nuclear physics, we can study about the spin statistics, and we can also study isotropic constituents of the atoms in the nuclear physics. While in case of the chemical effect, we can study the strength of the chemical bond, electrolytic dissociation, hydrolysis. In organic chemistry, we can find the absence or the presence of the organic linkages in the molecules. We can identify the impurities in the organic liquids. While in physical chemistry, we can see the transition from the crystalline to amorphous state, then electrolytic dissociation. All these things can be studied using the Raman effect. Thank you.